Welcome to Stock and Options Trading Unlocked.
If you want to learn how to make 6 or 7 figures a year trading 2 hours a day, this is the show for you.
We are here to talk about everything trading, weekly news, tips, and special guests to get you motivated and profitable.
Don't forget, everything you hear is opinion only and not to be considered financial advice.
Here are your hosts, Athul Patel and David Picard.
Just lost you, Dave. All right, welcome everyone. Hi to you all, and it's welcome to our Stocks and Options Trading Unlocked.
Hello everyone, welcome.
And so don't have a sorry, just no.
Good and organized.
Yeah, sorry, just yeah, just too many conversations going on. Okay, so let me go close this.
So welcome
out.
everyone.
Yeah, no, I just
let's kick this off.
That's
How'd you do today?
No, sorry, just like my landlord has been in the hospital, and so she was like and then confused about like, you know, oh hey, did you pay rent yet? And I'm like, no, yeah, rent is paid, like, and so, you know, and she's sick and I don't want to like you know, I want her to make, like, she shouldn't have to worry about stuff like that, right?
Yeah.
And so
it should be in the bank, right?
Yeah, no, but I was getting worried because she still has mail that comes to my mailbox, right? And normally her mail's not there, and it was just piling up, and I was getting really worried about her.
Does she own the building or the unit? Because you're at the penthouse, right?
Yeah. So the unit.
Okay, so they're individual.
Yeah, they're owned individually. I wish she would sell it to me. God, that would be great.
I'm sure she will for the right price. Yeah,
she got it for such a steal, and now it's like, you know, we'll see if I can get it.
Land there is scarce. You know, yeah. You're on an island, my friend. You're an island boy.
And but it's a great location. I want to just put in backup power because you can't rely on the local power company. As you guys all know, we've been on one of these and I've lost power, and
multiple times it happens.
Yeah, and so, but I've come up with solutions for that, right? And you know, so I'm looking at like probably just buying almost $15,000 worth of batteries.
Oh my goodness.
But that will give me enough power to pretty much basically, you know, for a week. You know, I don't use a lot.
Oh, that's solid.
Yeah. So like, you know, 3-4 days to a week. Yeah, I mean, not if I run everything, but if I'm just doing kind of like our work and all that, easily a week, maybe 2 weeks. But it's interesting because there's some, you know, I don't know if there's anyone out there, and I do want to research if there's a company out there that's focusing on residential backup power for these kinds of locations. Right, so you can, you know, you want power that you can actually take with you, because if you're renting a place, right? Or if I could buy it, then it'd be like done.
A little easier, right?
It'd be a lot easier, yeah. But let's talk about trading.
It was a fun day. It was interesting.
Yeah, it was definitely interesting. We had planned a really good short yesterday, and we had the gap down and the dump, which kind of came with. So one thing, you know, for a lot of you know, I don't really try to swing. Like I'm not a big from the I'm in a meeting.
You tend to go intraday, stick
Yeah, so I
cash.
tend to do it
Sometimes you'll
intermittent cash.
swing.
So sorry,
If
I'll
you
let you
really are
finish.
feeling it, I'm just gonna cover for you.
Thank you.
You might swing 10% size, but generally, unless we have real conviction and are setting up some amazing killer setups, we're not looking positionally. That's not what we do. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
There
So
you go.
I feel like feel bad for an ill person.
I understand. I do.
Like they don't need stress.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, I don't like to, but there are certain times where the setup and the is just it's the right thing to do. So for me, it's not just it's like what is the right thing to do, and we were at a place at a position showing weakness that the right thing to do was to go short and start setting up a swing short. Now, the fact that it paid off overnight was great. If it didn't, we had the risk under control, right? So we don't go all in. We do according to the appropriate risk reward. Um,
And to back up a little bit too, right? This isn't our first rotational short this year. We've been doing this. So, you
yeah.
know, it's perfect to take these stabs because we've been stacking that, you know, essentially
Yeah,
those
no, and
gains
we
from
know that
then and
they've been
just
doing these,
reapplying to the same setups.
and we know
These
that
bear
they've been
market
doing the
rallies.
moves overnight, right? And that's a big part of this. They've been doing the moves overnight. So with regards to trading SPY, I like futures. I like SPX because I of my broker, for futures, most brokers should let you do that, and then for SPX, Interactive Brokers lets me handle those contracts overnight. So guys, make sure you have the right brokers for if you're going to do certain kinds of things, right? Nothing worse than getting caught one way or another, right? Like, I've seen situations where overnight you're looking beautiful, but by the open, it's reversed on you, and you couldn't take advantage of that. And so we have all kinds of stuff that happen overnight. So if you're going to hold positions overnight, I like to make sure that I also have some potential controls in what I can do in that. But
Hey Shane, how are you?
who's that?
Oh, we got a Shane with us here.
Oh, hey
looks
Shane.
like.
We also had I had posted if I'll probably share the blog post, but basically a potential setup for a 10 bagger plus trade over the next 2 months. If the market does dump the way I think we are starting sometime, I think the trigger is going to be around Black Friday or just after Black Friday. It looks like we're back at 395. We'll see what happens tomorrow.
You know what I think would be really cool when we're going over charts? I think you should actually go over how you recognize the pattern because it was really keen of you to see that we've been on this trend of seeing them. It's actually the move happens overnight. So I think it'd be cool to show kind of maybe the daily how we've seen that multiple times.
Yeah, we can do that.
Because that was a great catch on your end. So expecting that and planning for that. It's not something we've seen, I would say, in prior years, right?
Yeah, it's definitely new, and it's kind of like if someone was like, "Why are you going short? Like you don't normally do that." I said, "Well, because I have to adapt." Right? That's the thing as a trader, you have to adapt to the environment. So okay, let me go ahead and we'll bring this up.
Sorry, I'm not trying to force you. Go with your thing, but it was just we were talking about it, and it's one of those things when you had been saying it a couple times. When I hear you say something more than once, it starts to, and I go start doing my digging, and I'm like, spot on. Like it's just what it is. So it's good for everyone to recognize, and sometimes to kind of show it visually for people too. Say, hey, this is what we're talking about.
So that's interesting. So why isn't it showing the?
I think it's age.
No, we should have the charts up, but it's not showing the chart for some reason.
I was talking about our conversation earlier.
Oh, I know. Sonny boy. All right, so let's talk about SPY. And so what I was looking for, so guys, here's this, let's head over to the hourly. Nope, that's not the hourly. So something I've noticed, right? You'll see these moves and these gaps and fails, and if I think it was more on the daily that I was showing when I was coming up with the thesis. I had was like, I don't know if it's yesterday or if it was going to today, or it was coming, it was setting up like it was going to be really soon. And so
I think you mentioned about a week you were
it was anytime within this next week, and it's still setting up. But one thing that we were kind of getting into, if you look over here, was I was looking at this right here and the way we were topping, and a lot of times we were getting these new highs and a top and then a gap down and a sell, right? Pop. And then what I was looking at here was something like this. We had this kind of like a 3-day setup where we were pushing and fold, pushed again, lower high, kind of like this pushed again a little bit, lower high. And then I was like, I don't know if this was the peak right here or not. I think a lot of people were looking for this to come, and I wasn't completely convinced that that was what was going to happen. But I was like, hey, I think this could be the start of the turn, right? And I think the blog post was like, hey, are we about to turn, lower?
Next leg lower.
Yeah, the next leg lower here. And I was kind of hoping for this, but we had started already here for the short. And now we got the 390, and I said, this is really kind of like the support I was expecting. And now we may still spike up. Okay, I still think that there's a chance of a rally, but we've got 1, 2, third leg here now. So in a way, we should be looking for lower highs. Okay, in theory, we should not get to this, in my opinion. I think this channel is a little more right. I think if we get back to 400, there's probably going to be some more sellers right around there. Guys, this right hiking thing that they're talking about, whoever's buying, they're not getting it, in my opinion. I mean, it could be completely wrong, and I'm happy to be wrong, and I'm happy to just flip long. I'm not going to do it here. I don't think it's a good risk reward here, not with the headwinds that are coming on. It's just, it's better to be late. I think once a trend for upside is strongly established and support's established, and we don't have the same kind of headwinds, right? So that's my opinion. And so I plan my trades according to that belief system.
Not only that, we don't have the tailwinds we had previously where you could take the risk reward long.
Yeah, we had
and
the
it
Fed
made
buy.
A little more sense. Does that make what I mean?
Yeah, no.
It's like almost the tailwinds because of the macro to the short side. So I'm 100% with you.
Yeah, like these rallies, just it is what it is. It's just so we'll see if we can get a pop back up here.
The geo environment we're in. I mean, there's so much going on.
There's no reason, in my opinion, to be buying here expecting more highs. Like what's going on in the market that should be really like there's no talk of growth and expansion really. It's more about
layoffs, recession.
It's just, we'll see. I mean, if things change, something changes. But until the Fed says that we have to look at their books. If the books are showing they're continuing to tighten and take liquidity out, then there should be a drop. And guys, I had talked about this before in 2008. That was just a 3% hike in rates. We're already there from 0.75. I think we're almost at 3% already. And they're projecting probably closer to a 5 to 5.5% hike. So, guys, this in theory, we should have a much bigger dump. Like, it's not out of the question next year that we're gonna see 320. I was thinking we're gonna get by the end of this year, but I think at this point we're running out of time. But it might be early February, and it's still not out of question that by March we see 280 or less. Okay, so am I a buyer here for long term and we're about to go new highs? No. Is it for me if we clear 420, 410 and support starts being established and there's some other change in the story for the market, then I might consider it. But I'd rather be late than that. So anyway, sorry, I'll get off my horse on this. but yeah, so I started noticing this behavior in the that we were having these overnight gap downs and drops, which is why I was starting to position into for shorts.
I just sent you a link to the
Yeah.
St. Louis Fed. If you wanted to show it, you don't have to.
Okay.
Just some economic data. It's up to you.
Yeah, I don't have
if you were looking, I think that's what you were looking at.
Doing that, but yeah, so we're gonna need to see how what happens with all that. But a few other things. We had some killer trades. I can show maybe some of that. Let's see if will this work. I'm gonna try this. Let's see if it works.
Okay.
I'm gonna try sharing. I was gonna share the screen. And I was gonna show some of the trades from Edge.
Oh, wonderful. So Edge, just as an insight, is a platform that I've been working hard on for a long time, and we're going to be able to bring it to you guys soon. And we have some of our team testing it for us, but it allows us to help create these trade plans from ideas and then actually go through the execution. So he's going to walk you through it in a minute, hopefully.
Yeah, I'm just trying to. We actually had a few more. It's really strange. The NVIDIA trades should be showing and with the results, and they're not showing anymore. So that's why I was like confused. Anyways, bugs. Let's take a look.
Still working through a few of them. Getting there.
Okay, yeah, that didn't show up there. So let's see what happened. But anyways, I'll go through and I'll show you some of the other days. Okay, let me share screen here. Let's see if I can do this effectively. No, that won't work that way. Let me try it this way. So Dave, why don't you talk a little bit about some of the coaching you've been doing while I get this squared away. I'm going to switch us to group chat.
Sending you a screenshot real quick to see if this is helpful or not.
But yeah.
Honestly, coaching is probably one of my favorite things we do here because it's such a personal touch where you get to really work one-on-one. Get to really learn their style and what's impacting them and go through trades, that they're doing day to day. See what we could do better, how we could improve. Whether we're looking at, hey, this is what we did today, or maybe analyzing the past month or two's trades and then going through and saying, how do we adjust some of these stops? How do we look for better entries? What do we need to do to get your win rate up, right? Because our system is saying, hey, we're not trying to hit a home run. It's not about one trade. It's about the longevity. Okay. And if we can create a system where people can, take thousands of trades, and that's what we're looking for success in, that makes sense. But we do want these amazing risk reward opportunities and to look for the consistent setups that you're going to hit day in and day out. So for me, as an example, I might take maybe 2-3 trades a day. If that, I focus on one, maybe two instruments. I always trade SPY. That's just what I do. I trade SPY SPX. And I might add in a flyer that spec calls out and kind of gives us some guidance and plans on because he does that research that I'm not taking the time to do in the morning. He does it for us, which I love. And then I love the ebb and flow of the market, right? I love there's expectations of reversals, different things to happen. And I set my risk reward against that. I look for prime entries. And sometimes I'm a little too picky, but that's okay for me. If I don't get filled, I'm okay with it. I move on. Some days I don't even have a trade. So that's what works for me. And I think it's about finding the risk management, your trading style, and your comfort, and aligning that and creating a system that works. That's what I love. I don't know if you have anything to add with what you've been doing.
No. I mean, it's great seeing progress in folks. I do see how there's a lot of common issues that folks seem to have, so you shouldn't feel alone, right? And we're able to, because we've worked and talked with folks, it's really comes down to a lot of behavior change, right? And then sometimes it's really about having not just hearing and seeing what we're saying and what you should be doing, but also just having that accountability, right? And so you can almost kind of look at a coach as a partner for you, because otherwise it's easy to let yourself slide, right? It's really too easy, unfortunately, for a lot of folks. But when you then feel like you got to do something for someone else, or you're like, I want to show well or do well by this person that I'm working with, that kind of changes how you behave sometimes. So if you're looking for a little bit of that coaching or accountability, that's another place where we can help.
It's the brutal honesty sometimes where we just say, hey, and this is what's causing it. And we don't want to do that because you want to be successful. And it's putting sometimes rules in place, right? I mean, some of my, the people I'm coaching, the students, we just say, there's no trading after, 10:30, because you know what, the volume kind of dries up. Why are we trading during the lunch hours?
Yeah, and that's 10:30.
Hey, we have great games in the morning.
So just to clarify, that's 10:30 Central, not Eastern. Sorry, yes. I always like Eastern because
I'm a Chicago guy. Yeah.
And so yeah, just so that we're talking market hours.
Yes.
But yeah, so anyways, I was able to bring Edge up. I'll share that. Let's see. Let's do a transition. Boom. Okay. So this was a SPY trade midday. So we're looking at this. Normally the charts actually will show you the entries and everything else, but basically what we had today was a rip into 395. So you can see how we have a watch list level up over here at 395. And I'm sorry, that was this time. This was what's going on here? This was what time? It wasn't the morning. I might be having some other data issue, but we'll look at it over here. But when we had peaked right here around 1 o'clock, I think it was this. Yeah, it was this drop right here. This was what it was. So when we got to 395, this is where I said, hey, as we were going in here, heading up this way, I had shared my plan for shorting against 395, right? And so that's one of the things that we're in Edge. We have ideas that we're talking about how we're looking about things to react to certain levels. Sometimes it's SPY, sometimes it's other names. Let me close the watch list here so it looks a little cleaner. And then giving commentary as the day goes on. And one of the neat things that I really like is that, as the plans are formed, our pro members can click on that, and boom, you get the chart, you get the stock, you get the option contract right side by side. You can see what's going on. What are we thinking? What are our targets? And it's kind of a nice way of communicating. And so when we had that 295 test, how am I on Netflix? Oh, I switched to Netflix. My bad. That was the other. Was that my short on Netflix? All right. Did I change days? I may have changed days. I think I changed days. I'm sorry, everyone. Let me just kind of refresh and we'll start from scratch.
Start from scratch.
Yeah,
set it up. We basically had a massive rip once we reclaimed VWAP all the way up almost into that 395, right around what would be 1:15 Eastern time.
Yeah.
12:15 Central time, where we kind of rejected.
And it was right here. And yep. So we were basically planning this trade right here, right? It's going to hit 395. I was actually looking for it to break 390 and continue lower. And this was my real target. But we got a 2-level move. We planned the rejection here at 395 and went right to 391.80. That's one of the beautiful things about the levels. There's no question. As soon as it hit 391.80, I'm sending a message out to folks, guys, I'm locking in a bunch here. Right?
We're on the phone. We were on the Zoom and we talked about it.
We were talking to this and I switched.
Lock it in.
And I'm like, I'm going to go tell everybody else because guys, don't forget, this is what you're supposed to do. Yes, did every fiber of me want to be greedy and have this payout right here? Absolutely. Absolutely. Process though. process dictates what I need to do. The what is it's not what I want to do. It's what should I do? What am I supposed to do here? Hey, 2-level move fast. I got to lock it in. I got to lock it some in, and then as long as and if it breaks over, I got to cut it. I'm done. Thank you. It's all I got. That's all you gave me. That's fine. But we were able to plan it. Yeah, but we were able to plan it. And what's really cool here is you can see like our plan here was entering at 75 cents, risking 25 cents. Target of $1.50 and $2 and $3.25. Did we get $1.50 from the entry? Yes. Did we get $2? Yes. Imagine that. What is that if you're risking 25 cents? If you got in at 75 cents with 10 contracts, risking $250. Okay. 75 cents. Let's just say that you sold it at the average, right? So 150 and 2, half and half. So you have $1.75 average. You just made $1,000 using $750
on $250 of risk, right?
On $250 of risk.
Beautiful.
Dude, I'll take that all day long. Right? That's a solid trade in our book. And that's what we want folks to do day in, day out. Right? Yeah. So that was to me, that was a great trade. We also then had the 160 puts. Now this one I'm kind of bummed that for some reason that normally what should have happened here is we have a simulator that'll go through in the trade plan, and it'll go through and give the entries and exits and everything and chart it right here. But it had done it this morning, but I'm not sure what happened. But anyways, the 250 stop of 2. I think that was when we were hitting right around 10:30, 11 when we were hitting that peak right here. Right, and you can see, getting in. So this made a higher low or lower high up here. When this got to this, so this was actually one of our plans, right? So the first one was in case this one failed. So we got a little scalp in there, and then it pushed. And then I said, hey guys, the next one is this 162 to 163 area. I like that for a short, right? And so we got there and it started failing. And so we get in, make a plan, and we're targeting this level here, 155, okay? We're getting in here, planning, positioning. Our target is over here, 155. So guys, check this out. So we go here. Did we get the first target? Did we get the second target? Yes. We had 50 cents of risk. We made $1 here, the 420, that's another, $1.50, $1.70 a profit there. And then, did we get the 5 end of day target? Look at that peak. That's planning. That doesn't come by accident, guys. Like, I plan this craziness. Like my targeting of
do this day in and day out.
Yeah, like they're like, these orders you can place at when you got in here, and you can go about your day.
No, not you can. You should.
Yeah, should.
Let's rephrase that.
Yeah,
you should place them.
You basically do bracket orders. You set up the plan. You set this all up, and you're done. So this is what I'm talking about, the 2-hour trading. Okay, so imagine you just plan your position. If you're wrong, this is what I'm going to lose. If I'm right, what am I going to make? Okay, anywhere from whatever, $1 to $2.50 a profit is the plan. And look, it hit. Do all trades work? No, absolutely not. But look, are you willing to risk 50 cents to make anywhere from $1 to $2.50?
And I think I want to just reiterate the reason why I said it's so important that you should place those there. How many times do we see exhaustive moves, right? Where we see a spike in a reversal.
They hit my target in the reverse. Sorry.
You will, if you don't have an order waiting to be filled, and I'm not saying like, yes, you could bracket order, but you can get in the trade, plan it out and put in your exits. But if they're not there, you will watch price. Whoop, and then pull right back on you.
And then you're waiting. And you're like, okay, next time it hits there, I'll get out. And then it keeps dropping, and then it gets dropping, and then it gets dropping. Slow. And then you finally sell just before it spikes up again. And then you're all frustrated.
Yeah. It's a slippery slope.
And so rather than that, why don't you just plan your exits, plan the profits that you're comfortable with, and get it? And it just turns out to be, aren't all of our exits the best and perfect? No. But a lot of times they're pretty often peaks, right? It just works out that way. Like if you spend a lot more time with us and you're in one of our programs and you're seeing our trades and our plans, you're just gonna go, it's really kind of, I think it's magic. I mean, I know the math behind it, but it's really, really wild how often these targets are hit and then you have a yank. It's really kind of crazy. But it's cool.
And it makes sense because we plan them around our levels, right?
Yeah.
And that's the beauty of it. I mean, it's amazing, honestly. It really is. It really is.
What was another day where we had some of the levels in the charts? I think the 14th we had a bunch. Yeah, so here's some other examples, right? So the Netflix 300 calls, right? So here's a nice one. Sorry. But this is this is how it's supposed to look, right? So you see you can see how we entered, how we plan our entries. The purple is where we enter, red's where we plan to stop out, and the greens are where we plan to take profit. Look at that. How cool is that? And yes, it went a lot more that day, right? But our plan was this, right? And it got our targets. But look at that. Look at what happened, how it went to our sell target exactly. And then look at this. 15 minutes later, it's $2 lower, right? Imagine not having to have that stress, right? Where you're able to put your plan in, you're able to put your sell targets in, and you either get filled or not. It's actually more of a game, right? Like if people will hear me in Discord, I'm like, come on, you're gonna fill me? Come on, take my order, take my order. And I'm happy. It's really about like taking the order than me going, am I getting the best price? Am I getting the best price? Am I getting the best price? Should I sell? Should I sell? Should I not sell? It's like, hey, buy from me. Take it. Right? Like that's what you want. You want it to be a little more fun. Have it be more like, you got it at the right price. And now if you're gonna wrong, that to me, that's the more stressful point in time. It's the entry. The exit's just kind of fun. But here's another good example. Look at that.
It should all be fun.
This was not us alerting the exit when it got here. Okay, I can't stress that enough. Right? And where this is all planned ahead of time. And we get these spikes and our orders fill and it's done. And I mean, it's great. Right? And then you're not like, down here, well, it's back to this thing. I'm just going to go ahead and get out. And then you see it do this thing, and then you're all frustrated, right? Like I've gone through a lot of that. Like everything I've built into this platform is around the my experience, and try to build having a good risk reward process for trade plans and sharing that. And so I'm sorry if I'm overly excited, but I am very excited about this. There are bugs. There's things to work out. It's gonna, it's a work in progress. But the vision and where this is going is pretty great. Like, I mean, check this out even, right? Hey, you're entering here. I want to risk $500. Okay, how many contracts can I take with this plan? 10 contracts. Imagine that. You don't have to do the math. The plan is here. You click a button. Oh, I want to risk 2 contracts. Okay, how many should I get at that price? 4. Done. Right? And then the next version, this is actually going to send the orders to the broker for you. Like this is going to be like game changing for, I think, in my opinion, right? Because
absolutely
it's
amazing
mission toward this is I'm working step by step because I'm not happy with the other trading platforms. It's too much of a pain in the ass. I know exactly what I want and how I want things to work. So I'm building all that into the platform, and I want to be able to trade right from Edge, and at least from the purpose of setting my orders set up. I'll go back to the broker and manage things or tweak trades or things that if I need to, right? But at least getting the orders in, imagine like what takes you 100 steps is now 1 click, right? That's what I'm excited about.
And real quick, in a sec, I just want to ask any questions or charts anyone wants us to
Oh
go
yeah,
over
we can go back to that.
while
Sorry.
we're continuing to talk. No, sorry. I put it out in the chat, but I just figured I'd say it vocally as well. Sorry, keep going.
No,
You're doing awesome.
Yeah. So just we had a lot of good plans, right? And not everything works. So we had another one here.
Why don't we go over the scorecard maybe and show like the past week scorecard?
Yeah.
Is that something?
So
Can you do that, by the way?
yeah, I can do that. That's fine.
Talking before putting you under pressure.
No, it's okay. So so we kind of have a system that'll go through again, looking at our trade plans, analyze it, and then tell us, hey, how did the day go? So usually I try not to do a lot of trades, right? I'm not trying to do it. This was a crazy example of a day that I was out of control. And, we had a few trades. We had 14 winners. Not everything, like I said, not everything wins. 9 losses this crazy day. But look at what our losses, these are based on face value. I'm not even talking risk reward, okay? Where you could be risking $100 and making $1,000 or $500 or make $1,000 or $2,000, right? So sometimes a 200% gain or 300% gain is misleading because your risk reward is skewed, right? But that's okay. Let's not even worry about that. But look at the gains, look at the losses on the contracts, right? This is because of how we plan our trades and our entries and exits, okay? And so this was a wild day. And then let's look at, I want to show another day where, look, we didn't have much. Like this was yesterday. Okay. I think there was a loss or a couple losses yesterday, but I'm not sure. I think
there should have been.
There should have been. So like I said,
guys, this pulls the data from the cards.
Yeah.
Just to clarify.
So there's some work still being done because not every day, there's losers, but you can see that we really focus on finding trades where our gains outweigh our losses by decent amounts, right? We are not looking for 16% gains. We're not if we're getting, I'm sorry about that, guys, but if it's a 16% gain or
he's not excited at all,
25% gain on a contract, that's crap. To me, that's crap. That's like we broke even on a trade, or at least we didn't lose. That's kind of what I'm looking at, but I don't want this, right? But we can't control what the market does. We don't know what it's going to do, right? But we can do our best to try to find advantageous setups, and if it works out, great, right? So this was a Monday. I think today was a 2-to-1 or 3-to-1 or something. Oh no, the numbers weren't working, so it should say 2-to-1 or 3-to-1. The analysis engine went back and botched something for today's numbers. So I got to go back and look at the code and see what happened. I did make a line just code change, and yeah, that probably did it. I have to go back and see it. But sorry, guys.
That's why it's in beta, and that's why we're being upfront telling everyone that. So,
But yeah, so we have a lot of different days, right? Like you can see here, we started. Let's take a look at the 9th. Of last week. Let's see how that did. Okay, so I was kind of reckless there. I don't want to say reckless, but it was a busy day. We had a lot of range and moves. And you can see sometimes we're doing the same contract multiple times, right? Because what happens is we can see the first leg, we can plan the second leg or third leg of the move, right? And so if we can get a good entry set for the second move, I'm going to go back in. And we can plan that and share that trade plan, right? And again, all of these trades and those alerts and plans, they're all here, right? You can go back and we can go to the 9th, and one can see the plans that were shared on that day. I think there's a bit more. Is it the 9th?
That's a busy day. You won't see that in my account.
No. Oh, you know what? Okay. No, so this is again the beta stuff, right? Because that's actually here's the 8th. Okay, this is where all the trades were. Yeah, I'm gonna have to go through and cross check because I think some of it is a mix of plans. Some are my plans, and some are like other members that are getting mixed into there. So that's part of why we have so many.
So a couple things just to point out, if you want, like, 395 had a nice rejection after hours, just your level working, to perfection. And then we did have a question from Shane. He was asking about SMG. He said he's long with a 45 average as a 7% dividend based on his average price. He said it's not the most traded, so I'm guessing it's not super liquid. I'm gonna have to look it up myself in a moment. He's looking long term, but would love our insight.
Well, here's the challenge on this. I'm not typically a long-term investor or trader.
Scott's Miracle Grow. Aha.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hey.
So I didn't know what company it was. I just pulled it up. Let me look at the daily.
So I'll take a look at it, but it's not really. I'm looking for names with momentum. So or there's a news catalyst or some sort of bigger picture for what it should be doing or why it should be going. But outsized moved is what I'm typically looking for. But let me see what we can do, right? Let me let's see, we have the right here. Let me change the charts to here. There we go. Okay, and so you're saying SMG. Let me take a quick look. Okay, so SMG, so I can't speak toward the dividends or any other things. This isn't a downtrend. It did from the earnings, from what I can see. So I'm going to speak technically, my observations on this. I don't know if one question is the news that whatever that kicked off this rally sufficient to change their bigger picture downtrend? Okay. It needs to cross over this 7250, I believe, to have any form of chance to say, hey, we're going to have a bigger picture reversal going on. I would also look at this trend. So this is just how I look at things, guys. Now, if you look at this peaking and this downtrend, it did break back. It did break over this channel right here. Okay. So now, if I was looking that, hey, I want to join this trend to the upside, I would probably be looking for it to establish support or confirm that it has support around this 55 level or
That's the level I'm looking at.
5150 or something like that right here, right? I want to see it kind of say, hey, you know what? There are buyers here. There's a reason to buy, and that people are buying. And it makes a higher low, and then it could start working its way up. Right? But
I agree. I think you could see a little bit further of a pullback, before it potentially goes higher, if it's going to. I don't know enough about it.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know anything about it. It does look like.
Looks like it had a nice little rally there off that. And it's still. I mean, the 200s. Wow. Yeah, 200s at 88. Wow. It's up there.
I'm sorry, what's that, 288?
The 200.
Oh.
Look, it's on your chart.
Yeah.
I can see it on yours too. It's way up there, I'm saying.
Yeah, no, it can
compared
head up
to the
there,
market,
right?
it seems to be weak, is what I'm saying. Because we're closer to the 200 from a market standpoint, right? What's that, 407?
Yeah. 406,
something like that.
Yeah, 406 right now, but yeah.
Okay, thank you.
No, it was 408. It's like 406.50 last I looked.
Perfect, thank you. Yeah, that was from the top of my head.
The
percentage-wise.
Yeah, so I personally don't have a strong opinion on the company. I can just give you that technically what I see is, if I wanted to go long on this, I would probably look for a buy around 55. I would probably use a tight stop at 53, or I'd want to see the reaction to 53. And then I would be looking for this back test of this level right here, which looks like it's 45. And if it back tests at 45 and holds and starts reclaiming 48.50, then this would be the second place I would consider a long. Right around here.
I like that.
Right. And then it's basically, hey, because the way that charts move, a lot of times you have a break over a trend. It also a lot of times will come back and back test that trend line before it does the real move. Okay. And so unless there's some catalyst and there's a news catalyst for why this is going to run and rally and shouldn't move, right? There's that. You know, we've had some big moves, right? Like FSLR and Goldman Sachs were probably, you know, I botched it today on this. I thought market was going to get really weak and dump. And so I took FSLR off my radar, right? Because it did not hold over 160 yesterday. Like my goal, like what it did today is what I wanted it to do yesterday. And then because we had market weakness, I took it off because I was like, hey, I don't want to take the risk of this long. But at this point now, if we see a dip back here, 160, 162, this is setting up now for that next leg up toward 174, 175. Right? Now this I like because one, it's got that news catalyst. I mean, it's got the growth catalyst, and it's in a strong trend. It's also in a strong breakout. Right? So that's what I'm kind of, you know, I kind of like this. Goldman Sachs was another one. Right? That was another long idea that we had. And it was off of the 308 dip, I believe, right here. We called that out perfectly. You know, when we were in this dip.
Yeah, you've been hitting the swings amazing lately.
And you know,
we just got to track them. We just got to stay on top of them.
You know, but I'm like, hey, I like this as a swing here. And then, you know, you look a month later and you're like, wow, it just did a 30% gain. Or 25% gain in a month on equity. That's crazy. But you know, this is off of news, so that's kind of, I guess, where I kind of sometimes do okay is interpreting the news and the potential of what happens after. But I'm out here. This was done. Target met.
Good enough, right?
Yeah, and now, you know, I don't, if we have a pullback over here, it's okay. You can see that this is now, the 200 is now starting to turn up. But I think I'd like to see a pullback 345 before, you know, the way Goldman works. Look at this, big run, big yank, big run, big yank, big run, big yank, right? So it's at a big run, now I'm looking for the big yank. And so like my head's like popping, but that's what I'm kind of looking for now. Like if we can get some sort of yank, then I'm game to re here. But this could just keep going, and it just has to do it without me. It's okay.
Anything else you want to go over? Any other charts?
I don't know. Is there any other questions from folks in the YouTube?
I don't see anything.
I want to thank everybody for coming. I hope if you have any comments from what you saw of Edge, please share it. Please let me know.
Reach out to us, guys, if you'd like to check it out. You want to beta test it or join our team, please.
Yeah, absolutely. And so yeah, I mean, reach out, guys. We're here to help. You can see everything we're doing is toward a goal and effort of helping folks become better traders, right? So we're here for you. I just love seeing people have great 2-hour trading lifestyles, right? Like I really like I work too much, but I think I'm a workaholic. But my goal is not to trade all day; it's to do other things that are productive, like coding for Edge or making
coaching and helping others improve their trading
and all that. But you know, and I enjoy that a lot. So
you got another minute? Ben from our team wants NVIDIA. He was looking at
Ben Benassi.
Yeah.
I'm so happy. Ben, I'm really, really proud of you. So I'm just publicly acknowledging that the growth and changes I've seen in how Ben trades and how he's planning. Really, really think it's pretty cool.
Consistent too.
Yeah.
Which is one of the most amazing things because you just got to keep at it and keep improving. always, right?
Yeah. So Ben, so what's your question? What are your thoughts?
Short term, long term, swing, intraday. What are we thinking? See if he's going to follow up with anything in the chat.
Yeah, my thought is right now, as we don't head back over 395, my target, when we almost got to 155, that was my target. We got to 155.40. I think that's pretty close. It's not bad considering this is where we targeted the short entry. And then by end of day, this is where we got. Pretty good. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm not sharing the charts anymore. But my thought overall on
he's
NVIDIA,
thinking longer term.
Longer term. Right now, I think that tech is in trouble. I mean, that's just because the rest of the market, right? Interest rates and all that. We've had a decent run in chips and semis. I personally don't think, we might get another leg or pop, but overall, I think that NVIDIA should be at least needs to back test 145 or so, or 142 before the more upside, unless something changes drastically in the market. That's
I just pulled up AMD and I'm thinking the same thing. It needs more.
We just had a huge run. Like
it needs more pullback first.
I mean, we basically retested previous support on NVIDIA, and now it's rejecting. Like we should, in theory, go back down 132, 145, somewhere back over into that area. It makes sense in my opinion, right? And that's again, I've got a bearish mindset right now. I'm not into free money, unlimited growth. Like people, I believe, guys, get the quantitative.
You mean you're realistic?
The quantitative easing we had in the last 4, 5, 6, 7 years has created, and the reason we are going to have these monster bear rallies is because people are used to that's what it was before, right? And you can almost feel it. Like when we were at 400, 402, you can remember you saying, I was saying, it's like, look, guys, it doesn't make sense to be buying here. This makes sense. If I was big money and I had bought a month ago, I'm selling here. It would make sense to sell here, like to me. If I was big money, the risk, there's no. I don't see the upside personally compared to the downside risk.
Yeah, totally agree.
And so
it's a different environment.
It's so where what I'm looking at right now is, hey, what's run a lot? What's hitting into a resistance wall? What can I get short where? And ideally, I want to get short into people's exuberance.
Totally agree.
Yeah.
So it's the same way that we're talking about put your orders in as people are FOMOing in, right?
Yeah, and that's why I'm happy to put my sell orders in advance and have it. It just happens to often hit those peaks. Guys, I'm sorry, it's silly of me, but I'm a little giddy when those peaks hit and it yanks. Sometimes it keeps going and then I'm all upset, but a lot of times it's, hey, I got filled. Thank you. Hello there.
Alyssa, say hi. She's gonna go to bed. She's getting a little cranky. She's gonna go to bed.
How's it going? Oh, I'm making her cross-eyed.
Say hi.
She's all like, I can't look at him. All right. Well, with that said, I think, guys, thank you for showing up. Thank you for coming. I hope this was a helpful session. If you got any questions, please.
Shane just said, Spectre says this morning, key levels are SPY 390 and 395. It reverses on 390, then 395 to the damn penny. I love it.
Thank you, Shane. It's ridiculous, right?
I mean, this is day in and day out, which is why I love it. And it's also why I say we just stick to our plans. And it's why I've come to the point where I try to trade so simple and little. Because those are the right moves to take, to be honest, right?
Yeah, it's all you need.
It's the easy money. I'm going to be honest. The stress-free easy money. If I'm wrong, I take my medicine and I go to the next one.
Yep.
That's it. Okay, sorry.
Finish up. No. That's it. Thank you, Shane. I appreciate the comments, but it's kind of, it is nutty, right? It is nutty how that works. Let's see what tomorrow brings, and let's go make some more money, guys. So have a great evening, all, and I will see you, or we will see you next time.
Have a good one, everyone. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you. Spectre Zoltar. Next comment.
Oh,
Benassi, love it.
I'm gonna put that.
Yeah.
Put the outfit.
We got to make a background for you like that.
I know, right? It would be fun.
All right, I'm gonna go help with her, get her to bed.